Hey, welcome back to Sketch Today. I'm your host, Spencer, and today we're going to take what we learned last time and apply it to a real product. And for you shoe heads, sneaker freaks, whatever you want to call yourselves, I'm going to try and do a shoe today. And I'm not really a shoe designer, but I like to think I can understand the mechanics of how something works. And I do like to sketch shoes for fun. So hopefully you have fun too. Feel free to follow along. I'll be using markers and pencils and my trusty pad of marker paper here today. So let's get right into it. So I have here with me just a quick thumbnail sketch of some boot design that I might be interested in. So I'll use that as a reference as I'm sketching here. And the important thing is to always try and break down your design. So if I have a foot inside the shoe, and I've done a few videos like this before, but the ball of the foot is going to be kind of there. You've got an arch, toes, like so. Okay, so general mechanics of the foot. More importantly, there, however, is a certain directionality to your foot as it's in the shoe. So I've got a plane going like so, a plane going like so, and a plane going up like so. So as I'm sketching this out, and I'll do this very rough, and then we'll do a nice overlay after this. But I want to kind of think, how am I going to present this? Let's just draw a line to give us kind of a reference. So if I'm drawing a line, okay, and this represents, and now I'm turning this line into a plane, and this represents the general shape of my shoe. Remember, there's a general shape like so of the foot. So now I can sketch in a plane, and a plane up, okay, breaking that main plane into three separate planes, okay. And now, here I have some volume, okay? And this I can use as the outsole of my shoe. Pretty simple, right? That's where the ball of the foot would go, and now I can wrap that around. All right, so again, understanding the mechanics of how something works, or just take a minute to critically think about what it is you're drawing, and it's pretty simple. So now, mentally, I like to take cross sections, okay, through my design. So here I have 4 cross sections, and this is going to just kind of guide me as I sketch this shoe. Let's do this in red actually, or another color, so that you can kind of see what I'm doing in my design or sketch process. So here's a plane, for example, another plane like so, because the shoe gets taller, and one in the back. Okay, so through this section, if I just draw something like this, okay, let's just say we just want to kind of get a shape in. And how I'm determining that shape is I'm imagining what the shoe would look like from the front. Okay, so maybe something like this. And we've got our tongue coming up the side, etc., etc. So as I cut through this section, I'm really just looking at a shape kind of like so. Right? So that's what that shape represents. And I can kind of do the same thing through the middle here, and this shape will change as well. Maybe something like that. And I've got a shape in the back as the shoe transitions back down. So now when I connect the dots, I start to get, right, if I just draw a curve nice and tangent, I start to get kind of a profile building, okay? So we had this line, which represents our foot. We've got the outsole line here, okay? Hopefully you guys can see that. And so the question is, well, how do I determine what the middle looks like? Well, if I just take this profile and I try and sketch it in, okay? And it doesn't have to be totally accurate. I'm just going to put a point here. I just want to get a sense, or feel rather, for what my design is going to look like in perspective. Again, there's tremendously painful and accurate ways to do this, but if you're just sketching and you want to break it down into planes, this makes it a little easy. So now I have this point to kind of finish off my shape, okay? And I can connect that down. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball here and imagine that this shape goes something like that, okay? So now we have a rough template for applying our design that is completely obscured to this actual shoe. So now I can take this. Remember, this demo is still about leather, so I'm going to actually break it into two parts for those who want to learn how to draw the shoe, and then the second part, which we'll cover on another day, is, or in the other segment rather, is how to render that shoe. So now I can take pencil, and how you choose a tool to do your design is entirely up to you, but I'm going to use a pencil. So just using some nice expressive lines and trying to mimic what I had in my design. Okay, I had this nice line on the tooling that came down low and then wrapped up to the back. Okay. Again, I'm not a shoe guy, I'm not a sneaker freak, but that's okay. I'm gonna dream and I'm gonna have fun today. Alright? So as Taylor Swift says, haters gonna hate. Okay, let's get our tongue in. Now I can kind of cut this a little bit. This line, I kind of want to break it in just a little bit more, okay? Don't want it to be too thick through the midsection here. And now I can bring down my panel. Got a panel on that side. Wrap this back. And then start to perhaps add some details to this design. I tend to like very simple shoe designs. So in case you're wondering, why does the shoes always look so simple? It's not because I can't draw or deal with the complexity. I just like simple, clean shoe designs. Okay, that's just me personally. All right, and then we'll get some laces in. Okay, just like so. And I'm trying to imagine as I'm drawing these that the surface that the laces are on are curved, okay, or is curved rather, and so I would get these lines as they wrap on that surface being curved as well. Okay, great. So there's our shoe design. And the cool thing is, again, because this is light till I get it right, I can come in, add details. So I had these cool grippy lugs on my shoe. And winter's coming, so I like the idea of some traction here on my shoe, as well as perhaps some kind of cushioning element. Okay, so you can imagine this would come in, come back out on the side. Okay, and I've got a nice cushioning element. Perhaps as well, just so we can show this, maybe there's some panel, and we can tweak our design just a little bit, but maybe there's a little bit of a cutout panel in this particular design that allows for some measure of breathability, and we can even integrate the strap motif, for example, into our eye stay. Okay, so something like that, maybe. Again, the cool thing is, because we're doing this light till we get it right and roughing it out, we can tweak that design as we go. Okay, so there's kind of how I would sketch a shoe. And I can see, it might be worth overlaying this just a little bit, for example, to kind of bring this in right here just a little bit. And I think I can save this, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Now, last time we talked about leather, so this kind of concludes the first part of the video where I go through the construction of an organic product in concept and how I would kind of approach that in a methodical way so that you can actually do a cool sketch. Because you don't want to get into your marker sketch without having that cool sketch first. So this concludes the first part of our video. So up next, we're going to take a look at actually throwing some materials onto the shoe and rendering out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Sketch A Day.